the data, laughs in the mix. Fabric and AI, get your fix. Explicit measures, drop the beat now. Podcast kings feel the crowd. Explicit measures. Explicit measures. Drop it loud.
All right. Welcome to episode 500. It was one of my surprises for Tommy was
Oh my gosh.
right? So
It's over. It's over.
it's over. So I was I wanted to see your reaction live, Tommy. I think he's crying actually. For those of you who are watching, he's literally like I think in tears a little bit here. Tommy and I have been talking about for a long time redoing the intro, and I worked really hard to make an amazing. This has been for weeks. I've been planning and trying to get a better song for the intro, and now we have an official EMP intro song, which I'm very proud of. That came out. Also, we'll see if this all came out together. Tommy, do me a favor. Also, go over to Spotify
Okay.
and see if. Now, hopefully this is all going to work out at the same time. Go over to Spotify and look up the song EMP Forever.
No.
It should be, if not today, it should be fairly soon. Power BI Tips should now have this song officially released on all music channels. We are now officially a music production studio. It may not actually come out yet. I'm not sure if it's going to land appropriately until so,
Emo forever. So,
No.
Yeah.
Look
Okay.
up the band powerbi.tips. Okay. There's now a band called powerbi.tips on Spotify, and we're going to be releasing a lot of music. I've got about 40 tracks or so of fun things that's there. So don't listen to it now, Tommy. So
it's the radio edit.
yeah, it's a radio. It's a podcast. Yeah, radio. So today we're also in the announcement of episode 500. We are officially releasing our theme song, which is called EMP Forever. And it is out on Spotify. It'll be on Apple. It's on all major sound channels. You can go out and check it out now. EMP Forever is now immortalized, and it is episode 500 tribute here.
Oh
So,
my gosh. I am just.
are you surprised?
Wow.
This is a surprise to you, Tommy.
This is pretty good. You know, I should have thought it was around music, but I'm blown away.
Why would it not be? Also, for those of you who are watching live on various platforms, we've been looking at analytics, and I've made the move. Okay, we're doing top and bottom videos now. You notice here the format on YouTube is now top and bottom videos. This is going to be much easier for us to get shorts out. Most of our analytics on shorts on other platforms, not YouTube, is driving a ton of views. We're getting a lot of good usage out of it. So we're changing the main format of the video on the channel. It's going to be Tommy and I, and we're going to be doing this vertical format as opposed to the horizontal format. When we have guests, we might flip back over to the horizontal format for some things because I think it works a little bit better with 3 people. Yeah. So, hello, Tommy. How are you doing?
It's a Brady Bunch over here.
It's a Brady Bunch over here. I think this format will work better for sharing and promoting content. Yeah. So we're going to go with this up-down format. Also, on all the social media platforms, this format works really well and actually a lot easier to edit, and we can get a lot more content with edits as well. We're talking about good stuff. We want to cut those down and get good edits out for people to listen to. I know a lot of people don't have time to listen to the whole 1-hour episode, but people engage with our shorts, like the little things. So we're going to switch this format as well. It's another new thing that we're doing for episode 500. And,
most importantly, you don't have to see the mess on my left-hand side here. So I can make my mess creep in more.
Oh boy. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
This is okay. You know what? I feel like I want to flip one of my screens now though.
Yeah,
I might have to buy another screen just for the podcast.
Just for the podcast screen.
For vertical. So
for vertical.
Hey,
now.
Mike, happy
Hello,
500.
Tommy. Happy 500.
So
we made it.
I can't believe. Can you believe that we have done this for 500 hours minimum? Because we've done other things on the side too. You've done Power BI Tips for a long time now, years.
Yes.
But you've also now done a podcast for years. We started in 2021.
Yes.
No, 2021 is when we started the podcast, and we are now in a 5th year. Officially, it would be May. Would be 5 years, but we've done this podcast without fail, 2 episodes.
Not missing a single week. We've had people sick. Yeah. We've not missed a single week in 5. Tommy, there's very few things that I have done in my life that have been as consistent. I don't even work out this much. Like this is better than me working out. I don't even go to the gym as much as I come to the podcast and watch the podcast and have been doing this. So we're really proud of this. One of the things I got to say here is I'm very thankful for our community. People who show up every week on the chat, people who show up and talk to us and engage and give us ideas. Thank you so much for the community. We would just be doing this for fun, but it would just be a lot less fun without the rest of the community also joining in as well. So we really want to thank you, the community, as well, for engaging with us and sticking with us. And hopefully you've been around for at least some of the ones or checked out some of the early episodes.
Yeah,
they got up to episode 500.
And I mean, Mike, that's what we're going to be doing today too. Today is a celebration. So I know we're going to be kind of reflecting on what can happen in 5 years. We're going to be looking forward, but there's also some fun things too, right? I believe
we got some giveaways.
We got some giveaways. I've got some, the jersey that I'm wearing here. It's not exactly this one, but I've got some jerseys coming in the mail and we'll be giving away some jerseys. So if you're not on this episode, you can't get a jersey. So if you have anyone who wants to get a jersey or you want to announce you want to go get a jersey, make sure you jump in here, make some comments in the chat stream on YouTube or LinkedIn. Those are the places that we're watching. Also, we watch Twitter or X. Make sure you comment on this video and in the chat here right now. That's how you'll get entered to win a jersey. And we'll announce those at the end of the show or maybe sometime next week. We'll see how quickly we can get through all the chat things as well. So make sure you engage and let other people know if you want a jersey, we'll get that to you. Mike, I wanted to start off. I was walking my daughters to the bus stop this morning and I was like, hey, they know, they've seen me on the phone, or if I constantly analyze the podcast to say what we can do better, or what especially what can I do better. So they've seen me on TV kind of thing of the podcast. And I said, hey, I am doing the 500th episode of the podcast. And my daughter, like a good analyst, she's 9. She went, well, how many listeners? What are your subscribers? And I'm like, first off, great way to think like an analyst already.
Exactly. Yes. I like it.
Give me the numbers. I don't care how many you've done. What are the numbers?
Yes.
And I was kind of going through some of the numbers. Like, wow, is that good? I said, it's not bad. So, and I thought back to the very beginning. And for those who have been with us for a long time, you've heard us say we'll probably repeat a few things. But Mike, I want to go back to the very beginning. But as you look back at 5 years, why did we start the podcast in the first place? Like, why is this a thing? Because I have a lot of thoughts here.
That's a good question, Tommy.
Yeah. Looking back at 5 years.
I think we were having these conversations, just us, just for fun, for funsies. We were doing the podcast and we were talking and we thought, man, there's some good information. And I liked learning from people with different perspectives. Tommy thought about things differently than I did slightly, about governance and how we roll things out and his experiences. And Seth had his experience as well on different ways of engaging and with content and things. So I just really enjoyed learning from the community. And I think it really kind of spawned out of that for me, to just make sure I engage with our community. And again, Tommy, we were going to have these conversations anyways. I would have called you once a month or a little bit, but we thought, like, why not do this more regularly? Why not talk about what's coming out? And I think at the time, there's a lot of like really rich stuff happening in the Power BI ecosystem. We were kind of stuck in our houses at the time from the virus thing going on. And so we kind of thought this would be a good time to start something. And I was like, we'll just try it for like a month and we'll see what happens. And it we gelled. It fit. It was fun and I enjoyed it. So I would still do this anyways. I love talking about Power BI and data. And while our conversations have definitely shifted away from pure Power BI, we're definitely more Fabric, agentic things, AI, but it is changing how we work on things. So it's still really relevant, and we're going to still continue to talk about Power BI and business intelligence. But I think how we build business intelligence will really change here over the next couple of years, and it has changed in the last 5 years.
Gosh, yeah, and I think that's going to be a big part today, especially looking at the next 5 years. But I can actually tell you the exact moment that we decided that we're going to do the podcast. And I'm going to take you back.
All right. Hold on. I got it here. Hold on. I got it. Here you go. Tommy, take me back.
It's all working. So
it's working. All right. Take us back to your memory, Tommy.
So we are actually planning a user group, me, you, and Seth. And unfortunately at the time, Doche, the Midwestern hurricane, went through the Midwest and I was wiped out of electricity. All my family was outside, but we had a call. So luckily the cell phone still worked and I had a little battery left. And you and I and Seth were supposed to talk for 15 minutes, but we were just on the phone call talking about what we can do, things in Power BI for 45 minutes. And my wife's like coming around the corner going, what's going on? Like, what are you still talking for?
Yeah.
And that moment, I wish I should find the LinkedIn message, but one of us said, guys, there's something here, because the biggest thing, I think the most fundamental thing about the podcast and why we do this and why we keep doing this is, if you want to learn about Power BI, if you want to learn about AI, if you want to learn about Fabric, there are so many resources on how to do it. On, hey, click this, connect this, this is the code. But I think our experiences very early on made us realize that you can do the technical side, but there's this gray area. Just because you can build a great report doesn't mean it's going to be a great report in the organization. So we kind of call it like the water cooler. What do others talk about when they go, hey, I did the center of excellence just like the documentation, but it didn't work. What did I do wrong? Like, well, why didn't it work? And there's all these little gotchas, all these little things that go in with dealing with people, with dealing with culture, and just dealing with situations that we were like, no one's doing that.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
we wanted to talk about it too. So that was really kind of the crux. And I think, to me, when I look at people's mailbags and when I look at people writing to us, and honestly, even our conversations today, that has not changed. There's a lot of things that have changed. But Mike, when you get people who talk to you about the podcast or even our conversations still, even though the landscape has drastically changed, I still see those as the fundamental issues, the fundamental, situations that people are in.
Yeah. I would say, that's been a really pivotal thing. I like the idea of the water cooler, just candid conversations, just talking about things that we're passionate about, we're enjoying, we're having fun engaging with. So I think that in itself is just extremely fun and why we do what we do. So we have some other memories. So we're not going to just reminisce about this thing, about all these pieces here. Actually, Tommy did a neat thing here for this episode. We're actually going to go back and react to some of our initial thoughts and reactions around what we did with Power BI in the early days. So Tommy gave me like about 5 or so clips. It was way too many. I had a hard time paring it down.
It's tough to break it. Yeah,
it is. There's so much content to kind of get down through. But what I did find was I found 4 shorts episodes. It's kind of like shorts that I went out and made little tiny videos with Tommy and I talking, or Tommy and I and Seth, or Seth and Tommy talking. These episodes are just little thought bubbles that we had kind of throughout the years. And some of them come from very early episodes. I even pulled a clip from episode number 1 because we got to do it. Of course, we got to do it.
Right. Yes.
Because I was right. There may be a comment in here from Tommy about something he thought was interesting, but maybe it didn't turn out so well. So what I'd like to do for a little bit of the segment today is I'd like to do just a little bit of reminiscing, and I'd like to play you. Hopefully this
is how people also can win in the giveaway.
Yes. Also, if you, again, to be entered for any kind of giveaway pieces. Also, let me side note here as well.
Yeah.
We're going to give away 5 free Power BI Tips Plus licenses for a year. So if you want to use Power BI Tips Plus, if you use Theme Generator, or you want to go use Power Designer in the PowerBI.com portal, we are giving away 5 additional free licenses. So make sure you comment below in order to be eligible for that giveaway. Let us know if you've listened to an episode and which one was your favorite, and we'll get you a license for
and why.
Give us a little why.
I'll give a random 313.
Yeah,
you don't know what.
You're not eligible unless you tell us why you like the episode. That way you actually have to listen to it a little bit.
And it has to be on YouTube. It has to be on the YouTubes. So
yeah, true.
All right.
Yes. Good call out, Tommy. All right. That being said, so here's let me see if I can get my teed up here. Okay. Here is our first clip of the memory recall. Let me go back here to the way back time. Seth brought up a really good analogy yesterday, and I'll let Seth hit up the analogy. So Tommy was reading through the Power BI blog, and this is public information, so we're not doing anything bad here. Tommy found it, and he read it to me, and when Seth and I heard it, we're like, oh, Tommy just found the old wooden cup amongst all the shining gems and gleaming cups inside the Raiders of the Lost Ark. And so I'm going to read this verbatim out of the most recent blog here. But halfway down the paragraph, in second paragraph, it goes, with the community developing tools that satisfy the requirements of more advanced solution developers, that's us. This allows us to prioritize our own efforts on those new features to reach a broader scope of Power BI users. Here it is. For example, we're now working on a web-based modeling experience for Power BI. I mean,
What did you say?
If you've heard me talk publicly about things, I really think this is something that has been long in the works and has. So it sounds to me what they're saying is because other people are doing some heavy lifting with Tabular Editor and DAX Studio, Microsoft has been able to kind of refocus their priorities and look at how do you model a report, all the modeling, measures, I'm guessing, creation, those kind of things, calculated columns, other tables. How do you do that only in a web browser? And I think this is huge. All right.
So I got a lot of comments there.
Okay, Tommy, hit me with some comments. This is the first. This is episode number 1, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time we come out shooting predictions from day one.
First, who is that nicely shaved man at the bottom? And a nice
Okay, I was going through some of these episodes. We looked like babes at 5 years ago, Tommy.
Yeah.
There wasn't nearly as much gray hair. I'm even looking some of the some of the thumbnails I was pulling in from like our earlier headshots of when we would do the episodes.
Yeah.
We looked really young 5 years ago. What happened? 5 years has really weathered us.
And our technology did get better, though. That's the only thing.
Way better. The quality was way better on video.
I was at my old office. Yeah.
Yes, you were at your old office, Tommy. You didn't even have a microphone.
No,
you were talking.
Yeah.
You were talking through something. I don't know what it was, but now we've got decent audio now. We've definitely upped the level or the production level of some of the audio pieces. The video's gotten better by default, but we just did a little bit better on the audio part. So that was fun. What other reactions do you have, Tommy?
I mean, first off, I have to say the sentimental. It's nice to hear Seth's voice. For those who are listening to the last 100, it used to be 3 of us. Seth Bauer, who used to be an MVP.
Yep.
And he joined us for the first 400. And I heard the what? I'm like, oh yeah. So those reactions. So that was nice. But honestly, it was the fact that the web modeling, the first thing that struck me was that was a big deal. Like the fact that it was a glimpse in the future for Microsoft at the time. Yep. When you think about that time, Mike, all of our development was desktop. Very little did we do was
5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
5 years ago, we had zilch on development. Look, I'm looking at this going like, we had no Fabric. We had no substantial data engineering. We were using Dataflows Gen 1, and we were doing everything in desktop. And I remember verbatim telling clients, never, 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 never build a report in the service because you get it locked in there. You'll never get it out. You can't download it. It's going to have to be in the service forever. And here we are, Tommy, now, more than ever, I'm building more and more things in the service. I'm using less and less of desktop.
Right.
Large language models weren't even out at the time.
Oh, no. There was no, I mean, AI was Siri. That was AI back in 5 years ago.
And that was even, at best, not even decent.
The only reason we used the web or a browser for Power BI was 2 things, to share and deploy and to admin. And that was it. There was nothing else to do. It wasn't so much that, you could tell clients not to use the report browsing, but it was still limited. And you go to now today, Mike, and I think I like how you emphasize too, that this is only a 5-year difference. This is not a long time period.
Right.
And now 90% of what we do is in the browser.
Yeah.
For our jobs, for our careers.
Yes, exactly right. Which is just incredible. So I'm really, really happy with where we landed on that one. That was a great prediction. That was a good memory. And even across many episodes, this was a prediction that we kind of saw coming very early on, and it's continued to accelerate, actually. There's a lot more things that are fully web-based. I don't do data engineering work anymore on my local machine. It's all cloud-based as well.
It's interesting, Mike, because I joke around during user groups and when I do training, and people are like, oh wow, you're an MVP and been, whatever. But I say, if I went on vacation for 2 months, I'm behind. I am like, even if I feel like I'm a beginner again. And that's kind of what you buy into in our industry, is the fact that you have to stay on top of it. I love that aspect.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of us too, that is a pressure. And look how much has just changed in 5 years, and just in that aspect.
All right, let's go into our second memory there. I've got another memory here for us. Here's our second memory. Going back through. Now, again, I did a bad thing. I just renamed them 1, 2, 3, 4, so I had them in sequence, but I didn't capture what episodes they came from. So this is definitely not
I might be able
one.
to tell you. Okay.
I think we skipped ahead quite substantially on this one. So this will actually be a good quiz for Tommy. Like, what episode did this come out of? Okay, here we go. Our second memory. incredibly interesting. This is kind of talking through some of those customer 360s. Do you really know your customer? What are you doing? And how that relates to what Fabric is kind of portray there as well. Anyways, let's jump in and we'll start kicking the tires here on part of the article. Tommy, want to give us kind of maybe an initial impression and start us off a little bit with the topic here?
I love this article. It's a bit near and dear to my heart. Datamark's talking about how do we look at customers from a 360 holistic view, from how do we market to them, how do we sell to them, and typically this has been a lot of systems. You think CRM, you think Dynamics, you think Salesforce. With Fabric becoming more of a feature in what we do, can the features of Fabric, mirroring, shortcuts, play a bigger role to provide an easier and maybe finally a holistic view of the 360 customer analytics?
There we go.
That actually may cause me to shave again. That was a good look.
That's a good look. Tommy, you look great now. To be honest, like it's not nothing against having the beard or not having the beard. Like you're a good looking Tommy still. So like, you know,
but you look the same to me. You look great still. Like man. So I look like I've aged 10 years.
I don't know maybe if that's a good thing or not. Like I've gone 5 years. I haven't aged an iota. Like that's that. Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know.
I miss you with the beard personally.
I also miss the beard, Tommy. Yeah, I would agree.
All right, let's dive into this one. So first off, my first thought here is around the fact that I don't think we're there yet. I think this was episode, I'm going to say the 280, the future of customer understanding.
I think that was there. Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the idea of having this holistic view, I don't think we've matched that yet. I don't think we've accomplished that or have any good blueprints, solid universal blueprints to make that happen yet. There's still a lot of limitations. So that maybe 2 years ago. And again, I know it's 2 years ago because Fabric was a feature at the time and now it's the feature.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what it was going to look like, but I don't think we have yet got to that point where we have hit that pinnacle of the mountain to say that it's easy to have a holistic view of an audience with data.
Yeah. Agree. I would also agree with this, Tommy. I think this is one of the reasons why we exist as data engineers, and one of the reasons why our jobs exist here. There's data all over the place. The full customer 360. You've got to have data from this system, from that system. There's orders. Even just looking at like all the things that are incorporating themselves across different data platforms. It's difficult. It's challenging. Yeah. So this is why data engineering exists, because we have to use different programs, and they all just don't talk together. Right. And data engineering itself, I think will definitely go through a drastic change. And we're at episode 500 here. If we look forward another 500 episodes, which is another 5 years, I can't imagine even getting that far, hitting to 1,000. Right. But if we go that far, I think AI and agentic things are going to substantially change how we look at designing pipelines and data engineering. And we'll be able to talk more. Again, I've said it a number of times recently. January has been an aha moment for me. Like I am way in a different space. And something I haven't talked about yet fully is I'm bought into I have talked about this, but Tommy, I had talked to you about rebuilding the website and being able to get podcasts automated, but posting the podcast itself on the website, right? Summarizing the content, having the video. I've done it. This weekend, literally, I was like, I'm going to do this. And so I did this OpenClaw bot thing. I've been playing with that for a couple of weeks. And I said, okay, this sucker's pretty capable. I'm going to rebuild my entire website. So in the course of one night, I had rebuilt my whole page, my whole website. The whole Power BI Tips website has been entirely rebuilt. It's on GitHub Pages. So it's super fast, hyper efficient. On top of it, I don't write posts anymore. I don't have to. I can literally say to my agent, go get this YouTube video, download the transcript, summarize the video, and from the summary of the video, write me a post that has this kind of format. Put the thumbnail here, put the video at the top, write these sections, and then put the full transcript there. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't have to do any writing the blog. I just let it do its thing. I approve it, and then we move on. This is next level stuff, Tommy.
Mike, you know I'm on the same train with you. I've been on the train since the beginning with you, but I think there's somewhere where we differ, or where I think our opinion, the way we look at this, begins to separate. Everything you're saying is 100% true, but you're still speaking to Mike, the individual, or Mike, the owner of a company.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can move at a rapid pace, the speed that you desire to go to. I still think the problem, and going even back to what we're talking about, this inability to have a holistic view. And I think we're still dealing with the same problems we dealt with 5 years ago. If you're in an organization, or it's just in a wider group of people, you can only run as fast as the slowest person, or how fast they're willing to go. And if I were to ask you, Mike, with AI, or just getting a holistic view of the data, what would you say out of the three is the number one issue? That is the fact that companies slow down or cannot get a holistic view. Is it the technology? Is it the people? Or is it the process? If you had to pick one.
Yes, this is a great. It's going to be a hard sell between. I'm not sure which one it is, but probably more people process.
100%.
It's probably, and maybe I would even err on the side. It's more about people, of like not prioritizing the right things, not being able to fully automate, that people don't have the right skills to get everything automated the way they want. I think that's part of it. And maybe there's a little bit of weakness of, we need processes that are flexible enough to adapt to when things change, right? So we have to be able to review them and fix them. But sometimes I think we get so rigid in our process that we're not able to be flexible enough when data or new data comes in and needs to be adapted to things. But this is where I think the advantage of Fabric comes in, is like, look, we've got a pool of place to where we can put all this information and data. We have more ingestions and data tools and storage places than ever before. We can at least manipulate, move things around. Where I think I see the most resistance is leadership isn't willing to pay for something, or we don't have people bought in, or we're kind of all running different directions and all the people aren't aligned in the same direction. So I'm going to probably point out the customer 360 doesn't really exist because people haven't unified efforts. Now, Tommy, I'm going to make one comment here that might be a bit controversial to you. You were saying BI and the organization and moving forward with data is not a solo sport. And I would agree with you. It's a team sport, a team effort. But I believe it's not to develop and build value. I don't know if building value and creating a lot of usefulness back to the business, I'm not sure if that's 100% a team sport. I think you can bring in one or two rock stars, solo contributors to a team, and you can make a lot of things happen very quickly. The whole team doesn't need to be strong. So I do think that a BI and business intelligence team, you only need a couple really solid, strong people to carry the lion's share of like the architecture, the alignment, getting things going. And then from there, you kind of, not everyone needs to be a rock star, but it'll help bring along the team there a little bit. So what I'm commenting here is,
the
point here is the world for me has changed. I am now no longer scared to build a GitHub pages. I am now no longer scared to build a full-blown web application. I'm now no longer scared to write any kind of code in any language. An interesting observation around this whole concept of like the agents are now going to support us. If you look at some of the comments from Twitter, Twitter has just recently, actually X has released its algorithm for how it ranks everything. You'll notice the entire stack, all of Twitter has been rewritten to not use any JavaScript. There's no Scala. All the big data technologies thrown out. And what they decided to err on was Rust and Python. The whole platform is written on 2 languages. Now, think of it this way. That company and all the other companies, Tesla, SpaceX, their xAI company as well, all of them are written underneath the same tech stack. Now, when you have an AI that can identify every single performant thing about code, if the code is not easily usable by humans, again, Rust is maybe one of those languages not very popular, but the agent knows everything about it and how to run it. And so when you get agents, so remember we were talking a little while ago, like at some point, the computing language that you're using to tell the computers what to do is going to become faster and simpler. And that is going to drive you to talk to it more with English or your language, your native tongue, and you'll stop writing actual code. I'm hitting that threshold. I'm not writing code, but I'm getting a lot done because I'm trusting the agent to write in languages it knows, and I don't care.
There are two fundamental things I vehemently disagree with you on. A lot of it I do agree with you, but I'm going to challenge you here because there's two fundamental things here. And first, the first point.
Yeah,
you need two rock stars at a company, like two amazing MVPs or whatever the case may be.
Tommy and Mike, we're here for hire.
Yeah, we're here for hire.
Call us.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say we came in, but let's say at that same company, the director of sales was not bought in. The director of operations was not bought in. They will want to do their own process. There's going to be enough pushback. What I am saying you need the buy-in and where you need the people is not so much, Mike, on the engineers or the architects. It's very much on the people who are going to be utilizing it. You said the value. You said the word value.
Yep.
I love that word so much because that goes right into a philosophical argument. Who's perceiving the value here of this? And this is where, unfortunately, we have to really deal with.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing where, yes, you need the right skill, but if your organization as a whole has not bought in or has seen this, and I've said it again, is we are going to spend the money, we are going to invest the time because this is an investment, not something I have to do. It's not going to work. The second thing,
one thing.
Yeah, I'll pause there.
Just pause on that thought real quick. I understand your comment, and I definitely think there are certain team members or cross team members across the organization that are going to be resistant to what's going on, or they're just doing the way they do, and they don't want to, like, they're burdened, they're busy, they don't have time to play around with
their position.
Correct. I would hope that my rock stars are able to come in and really empathize with that team and win that team over. And so, yeah, I agree with you, Tommy. Yes, there's definitely going to be resistance day one. But I would hope over time we would wear the team down and be able to be a good steward to that team and win them over with production and delivering and adding value. And I would hope at some point, again, things change. Either leadership adjusts and says, yeah, this is a good thing we should be doing, humble themselves a little bit and just jump on board and go with it, or they just move on to something else. Like, so there's also this opportunity that can happen as well. Back to you, Tommy.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you, Tommy. Can you hear me? Tommy lost a little bit of audio. With that, we'll go into our next. Tommy, you there? Of course.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so everything died on me, which of course it would happen on episode 500.
Of course. Okay, good.
Well, yeah, give me 1 sec, but why don't you keep arguing your point, and
I don't have any more to argue. I want to run another show here. So, Can you still hear me, Tommy? I know your camera's off, but can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to run another dream here, and we'll go on to dream number 3, memory number 3 from the podcast here. So hopefully you can still hear this, Tommy, as you go through things here. So let me go through dream number 3.
What are some of your experiences as far as like the different points if somebody's going to plug into this topic of the, customer 360 view? I listed off a couple, but what are some that you see, and maybe like some of the systems that we see, we need to pull data from?
Well, I'm going to point out one that's very real and near and dear to our hearts. We broadcast the podcast on many different media platforms. So one thing that we're constantly trying to figure out is what topics are the ones that are resonating with listeners. I mean, very plain and simple. So this is, you listening to this, I'm talking about you. So but we do this on Twitter. We do this on LinkedIn. We also do this on YouTube. And so each of those platforms has a system that captures data about who's listening, when they're listening to it, how many listens are occurring. And so none of those systems talk together. So even just for us, even at a simple level, things, you're making data, you're making content, you're making something that's getting distributed everywhere, and not every tool has an easy method to get it out.
There we go. Okay, so this is another one of kind of talking more about that amalgamation of data concept. I will say, while the comment was talking about like your customer one view of the customer kind of thing as well, I want to also heavily say here, additionally, this hasn't changed since day one of the podcast. Data is all over the place. And I think this is a profound kind of just comment here around just unpacking. Doesn't matter what business you are in, you're going to have to move data around. You're going to have to shape things. This is not going away. It doesn't matter what the tooling is. If AI is here or not here, all this is still a problem. You still need people at the top level saying, what problems are we trying to solve and what data can we use to support it?
I think my computer was telling me I'm saying technology is not the problem. And I said, yeah, we'll see about that.
Your chatbot, Tommy, is listening to you, and it is, it's slowly deleting your DLLs are being slowly deleted from your machine while you're not watching. Cause it's like, I've got you now.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad this happened to show all the users we're not making money from this. We've been doing this with a Ninja, like whatever, Ninja, OBS Ninja, and all these weird tools to do this. And like, we don't have an intern. Do you know how many other podcasts have interns and other people working?
We got no interns.
We got nothing. We got nothing. I got Claude, and that's about it, kind of thing. So, I'm glad that happened to show the users. It's still however the shop, but
that's amazing.
No, I agree with you completely here because, again, going back to that idea of the engineer and what that analyst looks like, or those people, Mike. You still need the people skills, right? Yes, you still need that buy-in. So I don't care. I really am getting more and more, especially with the era of AI.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hot take, but we do that. I'm caring less and less about someone's skills at the time of hire than I am about their ability to make a difference and their proactive abilities. Like, yes. I honestly, Mike, you could make the argument right now. I could bring someone in who's like, listen, I really like the idea of data. That being said, I've never really built a model myself, but I want to do it. But I can influence people, and I understand, like, I can understand how systems work. And I would take someone like that because, I mean, Mike, like you said, you built your entire website. You didn't need to know Rust, or with the podcast today, or with Fabric today. So, Mike, I didn't know Python and I was building notebooks at the time,
Yeah.
So, but there are fundamental principles. Yes. Will not ever disagree with, you need to know the fundamental principles and how things work together.
Yeah.
But the importance on, well, do you know this statement? And do you know that statement? That's becoming less of an importance.
Yes. Agree. And this is my point, Tommy, right? The new world that we're getting into, it's getting so much better. It's getting so much more fluid. It's getting easier for you to get the barrier to writing code is gone. And Tommy, I'm going to make another bold statement here, right? Okay. If you're a company that centers yourself around code and code optimization, you're cooked. You're cooked.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, so yeah.
If you're around, the AIs are smarter than all that, right? So I'm going to give you one example here. I'm going to throw a little bit of stones here. I don't want to ever write another C# script in my life. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to write C# scripts to be able to edit a semantic model. This is a kind of a tablet editor thing where they write C#. No one should be writing C#. We're done with this. That's all over and done with. And then also, Donald, you're making a great point here. Donald from the chat here, he's talking about, dimensional modeling. Kimball, this stuff is like legacy stuff. This is legacy. Ooh. Good, meaning not like it's going to go away, meaning like legacy, like it has legacy, right? It's been around for so long. It's not changing. Doing things this way is going to be effective. The technology has been slightly shifting, and we're getting better ways of storing data, and we're getting better ways of accessing more information at once. But those principles are not leaving. You still have to figure out what is your dimension modeling. You still have to figure out how data relates together. The code that you use to build all this stuff, you're just going to talk to a model. The model is just going to do it. I had an incredible experience with the Fabric MCP modeling server, and it was awesome. I didn't write a lick of DAX code. I didn't write or move anything around the model. It was faster than anything I've done before. I did 3 days of work in like 2 hours because it was just so fast. I documented a whole model. I don't have John, great point there. I never want to learn how to write regex. It's a pain in the butt. I want to say, find this word in this phrase, AI agent bot thing, go figure it out. So already I'm getting here. And so I'm looking at stuff going, okay, all the knowledge from Marco Russo and SQL BI about optimizing and writing DAX. Tommy, we are not far away from an auto DAX writer that you say what I want, it will find the appropriate DAX pattern. It will tell you in line, here's what I think I want you to write. Here's what I want you to write. And I should be able to, like, even just the structure of the JSON, like, hey, I needed to pre-aggregate this information and then calculate this number. All of this should be known and easily buildable by a bot that knows how to do all this stuff. So
yeah.
I'm not going to write DAX. I'm not going to write Python. All these languages that we're actually trying to learn and figure out, I'm going to make a prediction. In 2 years, not even that, in a year, we're going to write substantially less code, and we're going to get rid of it. Now, I know I'm going to ruffle a lot of feathers by saying this, but I'm at a place where I don't want to write it. I don't want to learn it. I already have an infinitely knowledgeable bot that's getting so good at it, and it's learning faster on everyone else's code in the whole world. There's no way I could outlearn it. No way.
First off, I have a few future episodes right from that monologue there. So
sure.
We got you covered for the future, but you bring up some things that I don't want to go more too gray here, but you are bringing up some things I think in the world that we're getting into where I'm becoming separated from the direct work. And I think this is important because the fundamental question, I will say rhetorically now, but will be a future episode, is based on what you said, therefore, how much should one actually know? What is the minimum requirement for one's own knowledge? Especially if you're going to pay someone. I'll save that for another episode because I think that's a few episodes that I think we should really dive into, because off of what you said, I could hire my daughter, if she knows how to prompt, to start doing Fabric.
But this is the thing. We've just reset the whole world. The whole world but the whole world has been reset now. For me, I'm looking at this. I'm having this epiphany. I'm telling people what I'm observing. I am building programs that normally would have taken months to build. And I'm with my friend Armando. We're building programs that are being built in days or nights, hours. I've taken months of development time and we've compressed it down to hours. This is so impactful. This is incredibly important that people understand. This world is coming. You need to change your skill sets, and you have to move away from, I need to learn to write code. You need to learn more about what is the business requirement? How does data move together? What problems are we trying to address? Yeah. That skill set is going to be really required because now anyone can write the code.
But again, that I think begs the question: what is the minimum requirement for hiring a solutions architect or data engineer?
Don't know. I mean,
it begs the question.
You need to be technical enough to know how to get things done. You also need to be technical enough to say, you can't even say the key words. If I can't say filter context to the agent and I don't understand what that means, that's going to be a problem, because the agent will know what filter context is, but I can ask it, teach me what this means in this land. So you've got to learn. But we're going to be learning different things. You need to learn how to prompt better. Your prompting's all messed up.
100%.
You need to learn how to use a agent to talk to it. This is 100% true.
There are agentic skills and agentic principles that you've
got to learn them. You got to understand what a context. You've got to understand what a context window is for an agent model, and you've got to understand tokens and how that runs out, and all this stuff.
MD, so 100%.
If you understand that, and these are just concepts. So once you understand the concepts, you can now do anything. And that's where things get crazy fun.
I have a science experiment for you for this summer. Your kids are a little older than mine, but I think your son, you've already kind of done some coding with him.
He's 100% learning bots.
I want you to give him a Fabric assignment and make it as difficult as possible, but give him all the AI tools.
We're building apps. We skipped all Fabric. We're just going to say,
but I want to see, can you do it with Fabric?
Well, Fabric so I'm going to pause there because Power BI and Fabric is behind on the agentic space. If I go to Anthropic and say, build me a website, I get a website. There's no concept of building a mini application inside Fabric that I can then just light up and use and run inside the application. That does not exist. I can't vibe code a solution where the data sits on things.
Copilot does not build.
I'm excited right now because I'm building third-party products, applications, where I say, this is how you authenticate to Fabric, build my third-party application, and I will put the data in my own SQL database in Fabric. I'm building the systems. The data system lives on top of Fabric. Now, Fabric can't do this stuff. but other systems can. But I can
Right.
use Fabric as the dumping ground or the analytics ground where everything goes. Transactional and operational. This is a real thing. So
Okay.
what I'm at right now is, okay, I'm now testing the waters of what can I push the boundaries of? And now will be, what does Microsoft need to do to start pulling themselves agentically? And I think the big miss here that I observe, all these companies are trying to get insights from data, chat with your data, That's the wrong approach. I'm very evident now. That's not what we want. You don't want the agent to build you or write back to you the answer from the data. It's hard to trust that.
Right.
But I can trust this is the SQL query I wrote. I can trust here's the visual that got built from these columns and measures, and here's how I styled it for you. The agentic space should be really reducing the price for me to build stuff. That's where this AI is a builder.
Which again is limitless for the individual, but limited for the organization. Because everything you're speaking about you building an app or me fixing code or me doing that is, again, you have the world is your ocean or whatever your terminology wants to be. But for an
Oyster, but okay.
organization, the world is your oyster. Yeah, that's
the one.
I should have asked AI. But for an individual, it's limitless. But for an organization, we're still incredibly limited. So yes, learn all the skills. But I want to do a poll so bad on people who are listening because I hear this all the time. They're like, this AI thing's great, but my organization doesn't allow me to use it, or I'm limited this way. And so a lot of people are still in that space. But again, you're only going to build something, Mike. First off, if you're in Fabric, well, you said it. You said the words. You can't do it yet. There's some things you can do, but your third-party applications are for Mike Carlo or for Carlo Solutions, the company that you own, right? They are not for Dow or Coca-Cola, who can build it and you can just start building and use all their resources. Most people, and we are going to see this as you and I especially start doing consulting gigs around AI and data. I think this is going to be the number one. This is my web modeling in the browser. Okay,
Let's hear it.
My web.
Let's hear the prediction, Tommy.
We are going to find a consistent pushback of either people worried about AI not allowing the resources to be used in the technology itself in an organization for AI to intercede in all the different systems. Just like we have not seen a holistic view of data to this day, even though we have the technology and we already stated we have no limitations there.
All right.
We are going to find,
That's good. I have one more dream left, Tommy, before I want to get to the last dream here before the end of the episode. So I want to last dream. And keep going. I don't want to pause there.
No.
I have one more dream. Keep going.
I said what I needed to say. I was going to repeat myself.
It's okay. It sounded like you were going to go through it again. And I'm like, I get the point.
We've done it 500 times. We know.
Tommy, I would agree with you. Today, looking at the landscape today, there's a large pushback against AI. We only need a couple really good success stories, I think, for organizations to really push forward with AI and call out some heavy development. Now, there's a couple things here, Tommy. The corporate enterprise, you're right, Tommy, is pushing back against it. We're not sure about what it is. We're not sure how safe it is. We're not sure what's actually produced. In the same way that Power BI has commoditized the ability to make reports, democratized how everyone can build reports, AI is democratizing the ability for anyone to write code. And what that means is anyone can build apps. So you're right, Tommy. Today, yes, there's going to be a resistance. But I'm going to say in the near future here, 6 months to a year, the AI space will be in everyone's hands. And there's going to be tooling that's going to appear and it will be everywhere. And if your company is not playing and developing and building micro or mini or disposable or throwaway applications in your company, again, the benefit is
companies.
The benefit's too great, Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like stuff I did a project with a semantic model that would have taken me 3 days to document everything. I have 180 columns of stuff with measures and things. I had to go research. I didn't do any of it. I took all of that and did it in 30 minutes. 3 days of work to 30 minutes. How much money would you pay how much money did you pay for the employee to spend 3 days doing something like that? Flip that on its head. Let's take that development cycle and pull it down. And so
my lunch.
Well, and so my point is, there's just not enough integration with AI that Microsoft can aptly use inside the Microsoft product yet. I think it's coming. I think it's getting there. I anticipate every single conference from Microsoft in 2026 will have AI and everything else, right?
I don't think that's bold of a, that's not that bold of a statement, guys.
It's not, but I think this is where we're going. And what I hope that happens, my prediction here is that 2026 language of this year, we can look back a year from now, we'll come back in next January and look at this again. The language is now, AI is not there to tell you the answers. The AI is here to help partner with you to create. It's going to be a code and application generation thing. That's the strength of AI. It's taking
Are you saying that
really complex things.
Is going to be the year of the agentic fabric?
I would be so bold, and I will say that will be the year 2026.
Interesting. I'll put
we disagree here.
I'm going to disagree. So we'll look back. That's going to be our episode.
Okay. Yeah. If we're going to bet on this one, how do we measure it? Right.
I think it's going to
I'll
be
let you chew on it.
It's going to be a gentleman's consensus, right?
Yeah. Let's just review this. I'll go make a little dream of this clip for next year. I'll grab it, save it.
Yeah.
We'll hang on to it. Next year, we'll come back and we'll take a look at it and we'll think about that. Okay. That being said, awesome. Love it. Really good conversation there. Let's do our last dream here and then we'll kind of.
I got a surprise too. So
and I got another surprise for you, Tommy.
Because what you did, what that description is not a company saying, "Hey, Tommy, we have a need." What that is you being personally interested in something, you going and learning it, and then selling your company on the fact that they need it, and that is significantly different.
That's very different.
A company saying like, "We want to go do this thing." I love what you did. That's fantastic.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's an easy to learn thing, and also that you could see the value, because like if you're going to learn a skill or become a master in something, I think the first thought is like, how, what does this look like in 5 years? And again, maybe I'm just neurotic and I'm self-conscious at all times, but it's
Tommy,
like,
in 5 years, it's not going to be all desktop applications. I'm sorry, Tommy.
I don't want to
it's just not, buddy.
People are going to look at me like, oh, he only knows desktop still.
So, man, that's so 2011 or 2020, 2021.
All right. In 5 years, will we even be using desktop? And there it is, baby. Let's go.
Wow.
So the world has substantially changed. We're using desktop less and less. Like, this is a clip. So Seth, Tommy, this is the point, Tommy.
Yeah.
You were spot on. Regardless, if nothing you take away from the podcast, keep learning. Keep pushing into something that's interesting to you. Don't ever stop. I think that's maybe one of the, if I had to say one mantra across this whole podcast, it's that I'm hungry for more knowledge.
Yes.
I love this community and I'm really enjoying continually staying engaged with content and learning new things. And I think that's just my main takeaway from this is it doesn't really matter what the technology is. Let's say we get leadership in Microsoft and Fabric totally bottoms up and it's no longer a product anymore. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
There's just going to be something else, right? Yeah. There's going to be something else. It's going to be, something else will show up and we can just jump to it and learn to it. We can adapt to that. And so the whole podcast here is just be a hungry learner.
Mike, I couldn't, I've never agreed with you more in 500 hours on the episode here where this is the thing I think where I really do call it it's a love story, because I tell people like Power BI found me. I didn't find it. And maybe I wasn't meant to work in Power BI or Fabric, but I'm in an industry that just goes well with the requirement. A fundamental requirement is the fact that you have to learn. You have to keep up. You have to find out, because again, let's say you were the best data flow Gen 1 in the world, or even deployment pipelines. You were the best in the world. Well, it's not as relevant anymore. And that's just what happens. And you have to be willing to accept that things you're going to learn are going to become deprecated metric sets. I'm going to keep saying that. Or if you're
thought it was a great idea. It was a neat concept.
Maybe you had a full demo and a training in Orlando for it. And 2 weeks before they deprecate your product.
Funny story. That happens.
That happened in October. So for me, but you have to be willing to accept that a good portion of your time is reading, is trying things out, is figuring things out. And AI is no different to me than data in that space, because, and the fact that I love is it deals with people, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the examples you've given, Mike, with your experience with AI is, again, very much with Mike and the creator, Mike and the AI, and that individual, that relationship, and which is fundamental to, I think, getting on top of it.
Sure.
But I think we're going to, once you and I start doing more gigs, and I think trying to integrate Copilot, trying to integrate agentic solutions with data, we're going to deal with the same problems we dealt with Power BI and Fabric.
I want to comment here just really quickly for anyone who is still willing to get a 1-year subscription for Power BI Tips for free. We're giving those away during this episode. Make sure you make a comment. Let us know in the comments, what is your favorite episode from the Explicit Measures podcast, and why was that your favorite episode? Make sure you comment here on YouTube. Let us know. That lets us know you're entered into one of the subscriptions. We're also giving away these fun jerseys. We're going to give away a couple of these. So make sure you comment on LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. Say hello. Let us know that you're there. And we'll get in contact with you on the platform and let you know that we would like to give you a jersey and get it out to you. So make sure you comment in one of the platforms here.
Favorite episode and why.
Make sure you come to YouTube and comment there as well, because we want to make sure you can be entered in for the Tips Plus subscriptions. We'll reach out to you after this episode. Tommy, you got any more ideas?
I actually have a little surprise for you. So I also took some agentic solutions, and I took a ton of our conversations.
Oh boy!
Kind of found a solution to kind of purge them all together, and I have some maximums. Some manifestos.
Roach's maxims, but now it's
Roach's maxim. Yes, this
Tommy's maxim, Mike's maxim,
maxims. So
EMP
I did not
maxim.
separate it by speaker,
okay,
but by host. And I want to see, since obviously we've seen the landscape change, I'm going to say one. You are going to strongly disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree if it's relevant today.
Got it. Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
Communication always comes first. This is number 1. Master the art of listening, interpreting needs, and clarifying requirements before diving into solutions.
What's the biggest one I can say? Strongly agree.
Okay. So
I mean, you were given 2 ears for a reason, Tommy, instead of one mouth. I mean, that's a
good one. I never heard that one.
It's mathematical, right? You should listen twice as much as you talk. Now, when I look at my Teams calls and I look at the little blue dots that come with a little, whenever there's the headshot of me in my Teams calls, I am 100% talking way more than I should to everyone else in the call.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Tommy, it's very important to listen more, have empathy, to get requirements better. 100% agree. And also, I'll note, I am not good at this. I'm still working to struggle through listening more. My wife will affirm that.
I think the podcast has helped. I think we've done a great job with that. But again, all the maxims I'm saying here are based on a ton of our conversations that kind of bundled together. So that's number 1. Number 2, understand before you analyze. Get to know how data enters systems, how it's processed, and how it's changed before attempting any deep analysis or visualization.
So that to me one more time again.
Get to know how data enters systems, how it's processed, and how it's changed before attempting deep analysis or visualization.
Slightly agree. I mean, slightly. So I think sometimes there's a step of you're going to need to just get some data in your. So before I do any analysis, there's also a little bit of discovery. I don't even know what data I'm getting. I just need to land sometimes I'm just landing data. I just need to look at it, right? One of the things, it's hard to visualize. So I think, to your point, Tommy, if you said you need to deeply plan out all your pipelines ingesting data and then analyze data, I don't think that's necessarily a 1-2 step thing. I think you can build some cobbled together things initially to get started. And then from that, you can then move forward with, more deeper analysis later on, right? Yeah. So I definitely think there's also this concept of just build something that works now. You can always come back and optimize later. And this is a pattern that I'm using with data flows. Everyone knows data flows from Power BI. You come over to Fabric, people immediately start building data flows Gen 2. They're not the most performant thing for cost, but they do work and they get stuff to the lakehouse easily and quickly. That may be what you need day one. So you don't have to fully understand it. You may just need to build something cobbled together and then iterate on it, and then you optimize later. So that's kind of my perspective on that one.
I love that one. All right, I got a few more. There's a ton here, but I'm trying to pick the best ones. Distill complexity into action. Your goal is isn't just to report numbers. Make outcomes clear, actionable, aligned with business priorities. Aim to provide the thumbs up, thumbs down clarity whenever possible.
Wow. This is the world's longest what is the noodle you break apart at the Chinese, like it's what do they call it? Fortune cookie. This is like, if the fortune cookie was like a paragraph long, this would be a great fortune cookie one. So 100% agree with this one. This is strongly agree, right? This is a principle that I think works really, really well. Err on the side of, don't just show numbers. Show numbers that meet a threshold. Show numbers that meet a goal. Are we doing things right? Are we doing things not right? I think you could probably evaluate a lot of those things very black or white. Now, I realize there's a lot of other things that may be contributing to gray metrics.
Yeah.
I also think some companies get death by too many metrics, right? Really, there's too many things to be looking at. And so therefore there's nothing that's actually being looked at. Microsoft had this problem. They had like 150 KPIs of like, is our business healthy? They had to like whittle that down to like 59, 35. Like that's hard. That's extremely hard to kind of pare it down. So amazing.
So
yeah.
Let me try to get one that you're going to disagree with, because I think obviously we said them, so we're going to agree with them. I think let's do this one. Okay. I think you're going to disagree with this one. And again, in the age that we're in now, own your space, be proactive and resourceful. Build your own playbook, reference library, and processes for navigating complex business logic in your domain.
Yeah, that's a big no for me. You can build your own playbook, but you're going to need to share with the team. Like, if you can't beat
AI
to a different
can do
drum.
a lot of that now.
Agree. AI can help you build a lot of these playbooks, but like, how do you distribute? How do you share it? That playbook of like what is successful, what's working well, needs to be then turned and baked into process. It needs to be turned and baked into code, because then that drives how everything else works. So it's fundamental to like do the investigation and figure it out, but it's not good, I think, to keep it in a silo. I don't really like silos of data. I want to be generous with what information you're doing. I'm a big proponent of data ownership and transition between people of data ownership. Hey, I built this table. That's the end of my responsibility.
Yeah.
Here's your table. Data contracts are a big thing for me. Here's your table. You go build the semantic model. And if your semantic model is wrong, or you find something wrong with the table, come back to me. So this transfer of ownership, data stewardship, I think is an incredibly important principle. And I see far too often in companies, too many people don't have people who step up to the plate and take ownership of the data stewardship part.
I got 3 more. And honestly, I was going to try to get you to disagree, but there are just some good ones that just are the podcast in general. So
got it. Yeah.
Automation is good, but never blind. As you automate, keep documenting logic and make sure the business users stay in the loop about what's happening to their data. This is one, Mike, you could substitute data with AI here. So, and I think that's a big one. So the 2 big ones I think that are just really, I think, very near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
Presentation skills open doors.
Ooh.
Learning how to present findings with clarity and impact will earn trust, influence, and more opportunities to lead.
100%. I honestly think, Tommy, just us spending 500 hours of on the internet, working through cameras and looking at being better at this. I'm so comfortable talking to people now on camera, and I think it shows. I think you did Toastmasters. I think I never really had to do that.
I did Toastmasters. I wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I did the podcast.
I think maybe you talked about it, but the podcast, I think, has been our Toastmasters, right? We're basically just always trying out communicating
different styles.
It doesn't matter if you become a good communicator, regardless, personal life, professional life, family, friends, anything. If you can increase the ability for you to have good communication, that's 100% a win everywhere. And I think the ones that have good communication and can listen with their 2 ears and understand and articulate back to them, those are the winners that are going to really win in AI, honestly.
All right. So this is a nice way to end the maximums here.
All right.
I mean, and it could not be more fitting. Focus on results that save money or make money.
Yeah. 100% agree.
Yeah.
1000%.
Because I said it. I made it up.
If you're making reports that don't make money, we've been saying this since day one. If your report doesn't make money or save you money, don't make the report. It's not it's not worth your time. 100%.
Or don't build a solution. this is, I think, whatever you navigate and however the technology changes, Mike, this is why AI, I think, projects are failing today. This is why Fabric is not seen as the solution at organizations where they're seeing the pushback, is because people are trying to just do these solutions, but for the sake of doing the solution. The technology is a means to an end. The AI is a means to some end for the organization to benefit from. And again, if the best way to clarity think of that, as you said, is how are we saving money with time or resources, and how are we actually gaining profit?
I feel like this is a t-shirt that should be existing. Although the too many words is not really fun. I need to think of like emojis that could go well with this, but like we need to make an emoji shirt where like make money, save money, and then like don't do it. So like it's, if it doesn't make you money, if it doesn't save you money, don't do it. That's the phrase here. And that just doesn't fit really well in a t-shirt. It's just sad that it doesn't do that, but that's such a good principle to live by. And we've unpacked that concept over and over again on the podcast here. And this resonates. Again, I'm going back to the agentic stuff. Like the world's changing, right? I'm saving time, which equates to money. I'm not needing to require to hire more people or entry-level people. I can then use my senior people and let them do more. Same thing. I'm saving money. I'm doing things faster. We're getting more things out the door. The AI stuff, in my mind, it falls in that. It's making me money and saving me money. It's doing both. It's both those things. So I think it's actually ticking both sides of that box. And I really like that a lot. Awesome.
Yeah. And I have one more thing, and I think we'll call it a day, unless you had something too.
You do your thing, Tommy. I have a final present for you, and then we'll wrap.
All right. So I think we've talked a lot about, we reflected. We literally reflected, looked back to time. We've made our own manifestos for the future. But one thing that matters, I think, and it still matters a lot to me, and Mike, I'm always amazed hearing from people when I go to conferences or when people reach out. I'm like, oh, wow, people do listen. I said it from the beginning, and I'll say it for the next 500. If no one listened, I would keep doing it. I really do enjoy the time with you. I treasure my Tuesdays and Thursdays because, and I'll say this offline too, but when I get more emotional, it's an Italian thing. But truly, it's I would do this without anyone listening, because I think one, it's great to talk through it, and it's great to argue and debate. But finding a community has been such an important part here, and knowing that people do listen still, surprisingly, amazingly.
Shocker.
Let me ask you.
Glutton for punishment there.
yeah. There's another joke there. I'm not going to say it. But for people listening, for the people who do the mailbags and ask us questions or just comment or even disagree with us, looking at the future based on 20 years of experience between the both of us and 15 years of MVP, awards between the both of us at this point. What should the listener do? What should I do looking at the future? Where should I invest my time? Should I change careers? Do I need to jump to another company? What am I to do to navigate the next 5 years? If you were to tell a listener that.
There's going to be data involved at some point in my career. 100%. I love data. I love the technology. Going to be there. What is going to happen in the next 5 years, I think is going to happen, is a lot of the heavy coding experiences that you're going to find, they're going to continually be mitigated less and less. Mm-hmm. The same way we've democratized reports by anyone can build reports on top of semantic model. There's a nice, easy way to build. You can get started easier. All at AI and everything else, it's going to be AI driven. 100%. Right. It's going to be something there. It's going to be more AIs in front of us. The Microsoft earnings call was talking all about driving cost per token down, lower. That's all they're doing. They're just trying to drive costs down and make these things extremely more efficient. So that will be the way we create in the future. And because we're dropping the barrier on that, it's going to accelerate the skills of people who can communicate, who can listen, who can articulate requirements and solve problems, right? You've got to be able to have that. You got to be able to, it's a muscle, just like everything else. You've got to continually come in and work that muscle of build and create and solve and keep making things better. And the code barrier that we've had in the past is gone. It's just going to be gone. So that's where, invest in learning how to prompt, invest in understanding a little bit more about agents, understand where agents and things fit in concert with whatever you're doing with your normal workflow, and just be aware. You have a 100% knowledgeable buddy who knows everything about every bit of DAX, every bit of Python, every bit of Scala, everything of Spark. You can't know more than the agents, period. It will always know more than you. So what you need to do is figure out how to tap into it. That's the trick. You got to figure out how to tap into what the knowledge of those agents are doing and how do you use them to your workflow? Because it's going to take you from not like, an hour to 30 minutes. It's going to take you from an hour to like 5 minutes. It's going to take you from an hour to like a minute. That's the major performance gain that we're going to see here.
And I'm going to echo that, Mike. I'm going to say, embrace this conductor's era. Embrace the ability to have things being built on your behalf. That does not mean, and I think there's an important distinction here between having agentic solutions and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that you're sitting behind and just watching it all being built. Understand, and the most fundamental skill you will have in technology, but especially with data, is going to be able to communicate that and bring that value to others. And to me, you can do that if you can emphasize, is a word that we use a ton. But if you don't, if we have the inability to understand the problems and the issues that ultimately an organization is dealing with, or a team's dealing with, or an individual is dealing with, you're not going to build the right solution, even if you're building it, a team's building it, or AI is building it. Great. And so regardless of what you're building, understanding and devoting that time to really building out, here's the value we can do. Yeah. I will deal with the technology. You don't have to worry about that.
Correct.
That is where the solutions are going to come from. But embrace this era that we're going in to allow yourself to become invaluable here. I think even more. Yeah. I don't need to know the technology, but I can provide you the solutions.
Yes, correct. Yes, because the agent will kind of fill the gaps in there for you. And I totally see that. Yeah, agreed. All right, Tommy. I think we're done. We're going to wrap this episode. It's a little bit over. Thank you all for hanging out and showing. I have a special surprise for anyone who's hung out to the end here. You're going to get a special surprise. I'm pretty sure this is going to get shared somewhere. I also want to say a special thank you for this year, 2025 we went through. We had a lot of guests on the show. I want to say a special thank you for all of those. Yeah. Really appreciate you participating. You enhanced the discussion a lot. Tommy and I would be just totally boring without people from the expert community coming in and showing up and talking with other MVPs on the channel. We really appreciate that as well. And so here is our final tribute back to everyone who has participated with the podcast and some other fun experiences here as well. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap with this and we'll say our goodbyes in just a second. So, but I'm actually going to come back because I really want Tommy's reaction to this. Okay, here we go. Our final present of the day.
Yeah. Yo, lights flashing, bass is crashing, gather around the beat. Tommy Puya, Mike Carlo, MVPs elite. Microsoft's fire, spitting data on the floor. Power be rising, fabric knocking on the door. We've been pumping this pod, energy non-stop. Data pros unite, let the measures drop. Feel the rhythm build, AI's calling your name. Water cooler vibes, but we're cranking the flame. Explicit measures, pump it up, be it high. Tommy and Mike lighting up the sky. Dance to the data, laughs in the mix. Fabric and AI, get your fix. Explicit measures, drop the beat now. Podcast kings, feel the crowd. Explicit measures. Explicit measures. Drop it loud. Tommy's got the moves, Mike's diving deep in code. Breaking down fabric, watch the data explode. So making models going out, agents on the rise. Governance pumping, no more compromise. Question the why, feel the energy surge. Real world beats where the pros converge. Spices build it high, tease and poke the game. Hilarious debates at the floor of flame. Explicit measures, pump it up, be a high. Tommy and Mike lighting up the sky. Dance to the data, laughs in the mix. Fabric and AI, get your fix. Explicit measures, drop the beat now. Podcast kings, feel the crowd. Explicit measures. Explicit measures. Drop it loud. Data flows electric, genuine repeat. Ad driving wild, fabric can't be beat. MCP servers locking security tight. Agents rolling out, owning the night. Evolving our world, tease with every spin. Made up of wars, let the fun begin. Chaos in the club, teasing takes on fire. Hilarious vibes, lifting us higher. Exhalation pumping, keeping it bright. Powered by crew, dancing through the night. Aqua features twisting, it's in the chase. Explicit seeing invasions, zoning the space. Around the cooler, but we're dropping the bass. Tommy ribs mic explode in the place. Why this feature, feel it in your veins. Real talk, high energy, breaking chains, no scripts, just fire. MVPs ignite, explicit measures on the light. Explicit measures, pump it up, be high. Tommy and Mike lighting up the sky. Dance to the data, laughs in the mix. Fabric and AI, get your fix. Explicit Explicit measures, drop the beat now. Podcast kings feel the crowd. Explicit measures. Explicit measures. Drop it like, yeah. Keep it going, data never sleeps. Explicit measures in the DB and beef. Tommy Mike, forever on the rise. DI party under neon skies. Woo!
Tommy, my heart is racing. I am flipping out. I've been working so hard on this for weeks to try and get something together that was decent here. There you go, Tommy. That's the end of the show.
There may be some licensing or lawsuit that's coming here.
I don't know, Tommy.
Okay, first off, if you're going to share that whatever I did even though it wasn't me, whatever moves I made in the very beginning,
Hot.
you gotta shit. Okay, that is weird. I freaked myself out. Okay? So that was great. Favorite line, the music. I got it. No scripts, just fire. Great.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know what shimmying I was doing in the beginning, but that's impressive.
Look, AI is only so good here. So I mean, again, we'll do another video in a year and we'll see if it's any better by the time we get to another. It took so much to get all this together.
Because I was giving the camera a weird look, like
oh yeah, it was like,
and
it was
if
like
you could pull those dance moves off, by the
bounce
way.
chicka wow wow kind of moves. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah.
I-
Anyways,
I love it. I'm red. I'm blushing because
awesome.
that was incredible.
Thank you all very much for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate you. 500 episodes in the book. We're looking to do more. We're trying to improve things. Let us know in the comments, what did you like about our shows for the last 500 episodes? Make sure you comment on this video.
Yes.
We're giving away stuff. This is the episode. Comment here. Make sure you share this to friends. Make sure they show up, watch some of the video, comment on things. Anyone who comments on this video, you'll be entered in to win a jersey. We're going to give a couple of these away through the jersey. So make sure you comment here. Thank you all so much. Tommy, wrap up the podcast. Where else can you find us? And now, officially, the EMP Forever Spotify soundtrack officially released today. If you like that song, you can continue to play the song until you're blue in the face because it's just that awesome. Tommy, where else can you find the podcast?
You can find us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to subscribe and leave a rating. It helps us out a ton. Do you have a question, idea, or topic that you want us to talk about in a future episode? Head over to powerbeat.tips/podcast. Leave your name and a great question. And finally, join us live every Tuesday and Thursday, 7:30 a.m. Central, and join the conversation on all of Powerbeat.tips social media channels.
Thank you all so much, and we really appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Explicit measures, pump it up, be it high. Tommy and Mike lighting up the sky. Dance to the data, laughs in the mix. Fabric and AI, get your fix. Explicit measures, drop the beat now.